I don't know whether you can remember one of my earlier videos, the one at Herringfleet Windmill. I met up with a friend of mine, Graham Shaw. He lives in Suffolk, and I'm back here again this morning. Met up with him again. We've come down to these lovely beach huts that you can see at the back of me. I'm to try and photograph the dawn light. Now the sun is probably about 15 minutes away. We've got some fantastic high cloud above the beach huts, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we're going to be in for a nice dawn. But that said, there is quite a thick bank of cloud just on the horizon there that does concern me a little bit. But we're here now, so we're going to give it a go. So while we've still got a bit of time, I want to quickly run through the composition. We've probably got about 10 minutes left to go, so I want to talk you through that now. I always like to do this. It's quite a process that I go through mentally, and it's nice to show you guys as well. So the middle distance obviously is the beach huts, and the sky is going to be what's going to make the shot in the end. But the real anchor point for this particular scene is this pathway in front. Now I know that it's got lots of footprints in, and if it was snow it would look very untidy, but I think because there's lots of footprints and detail in it, it actually helps to give you something to focus on. And what it does do is it defines the strong diagonal, which forms a really important part of the foreground to the image. The beach huts themselves, lovely and colourful. They had a little bit of an extra dimension to the shot, and all in all, I think it really works. You've got these three nice segments: the path, the beach huts, the dramatic sky, and the sea beyond. So yeah, a lovely composition. The beach huts, for all intents and purposes, because they're very straight and they run across the frame, it sort of jars a little bit with the compositional rules, but I think, for me at least, it works in this instance. So we just need to get behind the camera and start shooting. So we're just about ready to start shooting. The light's improving all the time, but I just want to quickly run through the settings. So what lens I've got is the Canon 16 to 35mm L series lens. It's currently on about 18mm, which is just enough to get the beach huts nice and tight on either side of the frame. I don't want too much space on either side of them. In terms of filtration, there is a little bit of difference between the sky and the foreground. So what I've done is I've put a Lee 0.6 hard neutral density graduated filter just to bring the exposure differences more in line with each other, and it's also had the effect of increasing the mood of the sky, which is what I actually like and what I'm trying to achieve on this particular shot. Like I said, I'm on f14, and currently the shutter speed is about 1/4 of a second at 100 ISO. So any minute now I can start shooting, and hopefully we're going to get something. I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as I'd really like, but nonetheless we're getting some pinks that are developing now that are looking quite nice. There's a nice thin strip that's just pinking up nicely. There's just a few final tweaks to the composition. Just make sure that distance on either side is exactly right, and we're about ready to go, I think. And that pathway, the diagonal in front, really helps with the foreground, just to create that little bit of extra interest. So here we go. 2-second timer, mirror lock up. Really quite nice, really quite pleased with that. I think it can be improved upon, but nonetheless, pretty good start to the day. Now for the rest of the day, the idea is that we're going to go to some old wrecks. The forecast isn't fantastic today, but these wrecks are particularly good. I've seen lots of nice shots of them in black and white. So the idea is that we're going to go, if the light isn't as good as I would really like for these wrecks, we're going to maybe try and change some of the images into black and white. But yeah, that's a really nice start to the morning. Quite pleased with that. So following a reasonably successful morning this morning, we've moved southwards by about an hour to a place that's really actually becoming quite well known. It's called Shingle Street, and Shingle Street has been quite a well kept secret for quite a while now, and I've put off coming because of that very reason. And there's a chap who goes by the name of Lee Acaster who sort of found this place and put it on the map, photographically speaking, and has done some fantastic work. Really has done some fantastic work. And to look at the place from the outset, you'd expect it to be quite a difficult spot to photograph, and I'm sure that is the case, and I'm going to have a go myself today. Lee has done some amazing black and white shots of this location, and I very much doubt that I can do it anywhere near the justice that he has done with just the one visit. It's virtually impossible, to be absolutely honest. But yeah, I thought I'd better give Lee a big shout out for certainly making me want to come here. I was certainly inspired by the images that he's created here. They're just unworldly. So I'm just going to do my best. I've probably got an hour here, and I have to say it's lovely. I can see why he was drawn to it. Some amazing shapes, and from what the guys I've come with have told me, that it shifts all the time, and there's a bit of a causeway at the back there that was linked, and now what we've got is actually an island, which is what I'm focusing on for this shot. Very, very simple scene, not a lot to it. I've really no idea whether it's going to work, but having said being inspired by what I've seen previously, if you're passing, you really have got to give it a go. So I'm going to line it up, get the filters on, have a look through, and see how I feel about it. But I'm going to take a shot nonetheless, and it could fall flat on its face, and I'm sure it probably will, but I'm going to show it. I'm going to stick my neck out and let the world see what they think of it. Hopefully it'll be a thumbs up rather than a thumbs down. Basically the settings are 16 to 35mm lens on about the 35mm end. I've got a Lee 0.6 neutral density on the top 2/3. The island that I'm photographing, it's like a shingly island that you'll see now, is basically just been separated by the incoming tide, and I'm using that as the base of the image as the bottom third. And the camera, all the drama really comes from the sky. There's quite a bit of detail in it. I'm using a long exposure by putting a little stopper, a 6-stop Lee, just to increase the exposure time. There's not a lot of wave movement at the moment, and that's just helping to just soften the hard edges of the ripples nicely. And I've also got a Lee landscape polarizing filter. The light is coming from my right hand side, so it is working quite well, and what that's doing is it's saturating the colours of the pebbles on the island, but it's also enhancing the water here in front of me. Now it's sort of a greeny colour, but the polarizer is certainly enhancing that, and it looks actually quite beautiful through the viewfinder. So I'm going to take the shot now quickly and see how it comes out. I've got the 2-second timer set up already. The mirror's going to lock up when I press the button. I shut the blind at the back, and that should be around about the 20-second mark. That's the trouble with big and little stoppers. You've got to be really patient and wait for your photograph. I hope it's worked. I think it will. Yeah, that's pretty special. So all in all, a pretty good visit to Shingle Street. Who'd have thought an island just full of shingle would create such a nice image? Now, like I say, I've probably not done it half the justice that you could do it if you lived locally, but I'm really pleased with what I've got. And so far today, for a full day's photography, I've had a nice start, and this was a bonus that I wasn't expecting. And we're going to go on to the wrecks now, which is probably another half an hour's drive from here, I think, and see what we get there. But if it tops this, it'll have been a really fantastic day's photography. It's not often I get a full day in, it's normally just a dawn or a dusk, but this is a bit of a long one, and it's nice to go to several locations in one go. And I feel like I've got 2 nice images in the bag, but to get a third one would be really putting the icing on the cake, so let's see what happens.